Hey everybody, welcome back to Big Lake Hot Rods. Today I'm going to work on a little something. We're going to change the pace a little bit. I'm tired of telling you, but I'm still waiting on some parts and trying to find the right parts and deciding on what to get next to keep the project kind of rolling. So what I want to do is just I found I kind of come up with an idea in my head of an experiment really to try to find a wheel and tire. Well, more right now, just focusing on the wheel. The wheel setup I want to use is a 20 in the back. I want to do 18 in the front. I know it is all-wheel drive, and you got to be mindful of that because tire rotation needs to be pretty close to similar, or actually it needs to be dead on. But what I did is the Summit Racing Quadriduce has been updated 2 or 3 times, and the latest version has a set of big and littles on it, and they're 20 in the back and 18 in the front, and I'm just going to use the exact same wheel and tire size that they're using. Obviously it's working, and they list their gear set and everything for front and rear. Gear set for the front of these is pretty scarce. It's a 342, I believe, from what I've researched, and the rear I'm going to run a 373, and just the difference in diameter of the tire and the rotation will compensate for that and supposedly work. I haven't done the math, and I don't plan on doing the math. I'm just going to copy what has already been done. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. So what I did, we'll turn the camera around here. I went and picked up a 20-inch steel wheel from a Dodge Ram. Obviously, the lug pattern is going to be different, so my idea was to get some axles that are blank, and I can have them drilled to match this lug pattern. Since you can't rotate 20 and 18s front and rear, so I won't be rotating tires, I don't have to worry about different lug patterns. It's not going to hurt my feelings any. I don't care. But anyway, I would like to band this wheel for one to widen it, and then I'd like to fill these in if that's possible. Obviously it's possible, but to balance it and deal with that, it's pretty heavy wheel. And then I'd like to get the clips that are made and then put a cap on it. The idea of banding it is to make this wheel lip deeper. So I'll draw the face of the wheel towards me and push this back and get the correct tire size and then band it accordingly. I've watched a few videos of banding wheels. It doesn't seem all that difficult. Just need to get a jig set up so that I get a perfect cut all the way around the circumference of this tire or rim, and make sure that this band comes off true as I can get it. I think the difficulty is going to be figuring out how to widen it the correct width that I want. I need to find some more information on the tire that I want to run and actually get the bead width. I figured I'd probably use that measurement here to figure out what I need to band it to. But yeah, I'm going to pull this wheel off of the car. I've tubbed it. I'm hoping the width or this portion of the wheel opening is big enough to accept what I'm trying to do. I noticed in the front here it's a little tight already, so we shall see. It is very tight already, and it's a tiny tire, so I may already run into a problem. I may have to move this support brace forward and make some changes. I hope not, but I'm about to cross that bridge. Let's see what we can come up with. I'm going to take this tire off and put the steel rim that I have, and we'll go from there. All right, let's see what we got here. Whew. I know the lug pattern is off, and gosh, it's way off, but it's amazing how much difference that is. Way wide, but it'll fit. I think it's going to be pretty snug. I'd love to try to see if I had an adapter. I used to have one. Way too narrow, but it's got multiple patterns. I wonder if I could. This is junk. I wonder if I can modify this to fit the wheel, because this will fit the hub. These, if I can make them wider, if I got enough meat out here. And like I said, this is junk. I can knock these out just to temporarily hold it in place and try to help me get some measurements going, you know. This fit. I know the rim will physically fit in here. It'll be really tight with a tire, especially up in this corner right here, which you probably can't see. So right in here is where I'm running into an issue where the fender or the inner tub curves. I should have cut that forward and just used this room here. Takes up a little bit of my room. I don't know why I did that. I guess I don't have any different room here than I do for the exhaust. It's coming out. I'm gonna have to play around with that and get it really tight. I want it as close as I can get it, obviously as big as the wheel, as tire as I can get in my limited space. Just gonna do some thinking and we'll get back to it. Trying to figure out how to make this adapter fit this lug pattern just for temporary, so don't get all antsy in the pantsy. Trying to figure out a way to just make a quick and easy pattern here. All right, we'll get this vise off of the base here, and let's see if we can hook up some clamps. Clamp this piece in place secure. I definitely don't want it flying out. Just want to try to get through it nice and clean and accurate so I can make it do what I want it to do. Kind of get me a little pilot hole started. Okay. Well, kind of puckered that up. That drill bit was just too big, and now the knurl won't grab a hold of that. Alright, with continuing the experimental theme, I'm going to try a unibit because I just don't have a drill bit big enough for the hole I want. So we'll give it a whirl. Alright, so very loosely it's on there. And I'm already running into a couple issues that I see that tub that I felt around and noticed right in through here, it has a curve and it should be straight. So what I'm probably gonna have to do is go back through and trim that tub out a little bit and square it up, I guess you could call it. But the rim is on the car, and I still got quite a bit of room here between the body that I could band it and bring that rim out and still get a lip that I'm looking for. You know, I was hoping to get the width of my hand, at least that much, probably 4 inches maybe. I could probably get that. It'll be really tight, but I also have to modify the inner tub there, which also I'll have to take a look. And with a tire, it will not clear the exhaust up in there, so I may have to revisit the exhaust one more time. This is just part of the problems of not having all your parts and pieces, and you know, kind of working around chasing your tail a little bit. But unfortunately, that's kind of what I got to deal with, because it is what it is. I'm burning up time rather than cash. It's all the same in the end. Anyway, I don't know. I feel pretty cool about it. That's pretty cool looking. A 20-inch wheel on the back of this little car. Still got a decent amount of room for a tire. So I'm pretty kind of happy with that. You know, it's moving along. It's progress. It's okay. I was still thinking I really want to fill these holes and then get the little clips you can buy that'll accept a steel cap, a smoothie cap or something like that, or just something vintage, and give it that smooth look for now until I can get some actual wheels for it. I do plan on running some different set of wheels, and this just temporary and fun, and it's cheap. It'll get me by from where I need. But overall, I'm pleased right now. We'll get there. It's still going to take some work. I knew it. But like I said, I got quite a bit of room between the wheel and the and there's a spacer on that hub. If I can figure out a way to, if I can get some blank axles and just drill them to accept this wheel, that'll suck it in an inch that way, which I will definitely not have room for where that wheel tub sits right up in here. So I may not be able to go in that far. But we'll get there. I ordered a set of wheel spacers. Let me back this out here. All right, so we're back on the wheel mock-up still. I'm still in those phases. I think I've got it pretty close. I still may need to come in here and modify this inner wheel tub where it kind of curves in, and instead I'll just flatten that out and go all the way to the frame and buy me a little extra room there. But I got on Amazon and found some wheel spacers that'll fit. I've already tested them on the hub here and on the wheel. They fit both correctly. And all I've got to do is come back here and cut these studs off this axle a little bit, just the part on the end that doesn't have any thread. I guess you'd call that the shoulder. I'm not sure. But just cutting that off because it actually sticks through here and hits the rim face. So I need to cut those flush so the rim will sit flush up against this and bolt in and get my correct depth. And I'll start measuring out and see what I can fit as far as tire wise, and if this is going to be a problem. The thing I'm running into is these aren't custom wheels, so they have a set backspace. So I'm having to work with what I have until I order my real wheels. Then I can correctly match them to the specs that I want instead of having to work with what I've got. Just a temporary thing, and who knows, if I like them, I might keep them for a little while. Who knows? Just a unique look, a little set of Steelies. Plan is, like I said, to band these, widen them, fill these holes in, give it a smooth look, and maybe find a set of caps that'll fit in there, and just run those for a little while until I can save up and buy a set of wheels. The ones I picked out, of course, are very expensive, but I'll keep looking and may find an alternative that's a little cheaper. But for right now, we're going to get this cut. I got 2 more to go, and get this wheel and all that put back together, and we'll test it out and do some measuring and see what we got. All right, so unfortunately, I may have to take some more steps back. What you're looking at here is the inside tub, and my frame comes straight down here and then cuts over right in front of this is another brace. that I put in. And what I should have done is squared this up to that brace. And I distinctly remember this, seeing this a while ago and thinking maybe I should straighten that up when I had the chance, when the tub was out and all this good stuff. Of course, future me had no idea what he was going to run into. And now that we're here, I'm probably going to have to revisit this corner and cut it out and square it up and get this curve out of it. It's a pretty sharp curve, as you can tell by my seam sealer. So all that's got to go, and I'll probably cut it in the seam that's already there. That way I don't have a second seam, and figure out a way to kind of pull this way without distorting this too much. So I think I can probably do that, and plus I'll be covered up by the seat. So you'll never really see it anyway, but that will buy me a pretty good bit of room underneath this wheel tub. And all this because I'm choosing a different wheel with a different back spacing, and this is gonna, no matter where I go, if you can see it, this is only 2 finger widths away from the tire, maybe 3, and that's going to be in contact with that metal tub, and I don't want that. That's bad. I had a tape measure. I don't know where the hell I put it. Of course, for sure I'm going to have to cut in there, and the exhaust will also have to be modified again. This radius is going to have to be sharper to get around this tire, because you can see that is not good. That is not going to work at all, no matter what size tire I put on it. There's however much room there is. It's not at all good. This is part of the process of, I want a deep dip. I want a deep dish on the rim, dealing with a certain set offset, and I really can't change that much. If I bring the face of the rim in, which is going to bring the barrel out, that's going to lose. If I leave the center in and bring the barrel of the wheel out, I'm not going to be able to get the width that I want, because it's already back as far as it'll go with clearance for a tire, and I want to come out. Obviously, I've got room to come out. You can see I've got a few inches there to widen that barrel. Probably by 3 inches, 3.5 inches, maybe 3 3/4. I'd like to get as deep as I can. Just it would look badass, is why. And this is part of the process of making things look awesome and great. You bang your head against the wall several times before you get it. But if you look underneath, that's a really good view of how much room I have wasted right there. I could bring that wheel tub to the frame and straighten this part out and basically square that corner up. That would buy me a lot of room and a lot more peace of mind. When the car is moving around, suspension's traveling, it'll be close, but it won't be as close, butt pucker close. And down an expensive tire is going to be would be a nightmare. So I've got the plan of attack kind of sort of marked out. My idea is to cut here and leave this portion. Obviously I'm going to have to cut in here, and this will be gone, and kind of pull this out and reshape it to be a little more squared off, and that way I can try to blend it in here. I just don't want to get up too far, because now if I get up too far, now I've got this brace to contend with, and it's already welded in pretty solid. Should have waited. The hood shoulda, coulda, woulda. But I can keep saying that all I want. It ain't gonna change anything. So that's what I'm gonna do. Up through here is, oddly enough, I've got room for a tire. It's gonna be close, but I may need to come in here and just hammer on that a little bit. But I'll leave it that shape, and that way I make it. If I need to, I can come back and slice it open a little bit. Once I get this out of the way, I can kind of get a better view of what I need to do. And I may need to shape that a little bit, but. come up on into here. That's where this tub touches the frame, so I've got a little bit of a gap about a finger width. A little bit more insurance for no tire rub. Well, a lot. Shaping in the right direction. Like I said, I wanted this flat to come open, and I'm going to put a bend in here somewhere, and I'll have to add a strip. I know earlier I said I was going to cut it here, but I didn't, obviously. I just started where it stopped being flat and started to curve. So it stops here and starts to dive in. Try to get this curve to open a little bit around in here and get this flat and blend it back in. I'm obviously going to have to split that and kind of pull it to me a little bit. But I don't want it to look hacked up. Obviously, it's hacked up. When I get done with it, I hope it will look better. Look better. Hopefully, it'll look better. Hopefully, it'll look better. They just go. Cut it off. I'm not cutting here. Cut this, kind of pull this out that way and just blend it back into that. Once I get this bend started, I'll just All right, as you can see, I went ahead and put the wheel back on, and I can put the width of my hand between the tire and the tub there. So I feel like that's a good bit of room, sidewall clearance for the frame. This is kind of a view I didn't have before, but that's a pretty good bit of room up in there. Obviously the car's going to be a little bit lower than it is now, but I feel pretty good about that opening. So I'm going to go ahead and bend this, kind of get this bend here started, and fold this flat, and basically just extend that flat on out, and I'll put a piece of steel in there, and that's the easy part. And I'm short on time for the day, Memorial Day weekend here, and we're gonna have a little family time. So uh, this definitely comes fourth or fifth down the line as priorities. So we're getting there. We'll get this cut and finished, and probably be done for the day. Pretty sure I need another relief cut in here. I'm hesitant to cut it anymore. I don't know why. Slice the hell out of it, but it's kind of right here, and then it kind of shapes out like that, and I want to get that to blend a little better, but keep this profile that I've got going on down here, because I'm liking that. Almost wondering if I should cut this bottom and kind of have it meet in the middle, since I've got more than the room I need. That may be the way to go. Kind of shrink it. Let me try that. Your plug must have fell out. That was a little stingy. It's transitioning nicely. I'll push it in just a hair, and I'm really pretty happy with that bend, that radius. This needs to come out a little bit once I weld it. I'll pull it as I weld it and hammer it. I'm gonna make a patch for that now, and we'll go from there. So you can see the yellow contrast really helps see it, helps you see it in the camera, and pretty happy with that. This needs to go in a little bit more. I'll work on that more once I get it shaped. Once I get it started welded. Got a little template made here. We'll get this cut out. I've got my flange made, another 90, and made a little pattern here on my paper so that I can get this, because I need the opposite of this now for the driver's side. So I'm gonna make a little pattern, and we'll go over to the stretcher. Actually, I'm gonna take it to the stretcher, and I'll stretch this flange and get it to curve around. I want to take and cut my template out and flip it. That way I can have something to follow. So let's do that, and we'll take it over to the stretcher and get it going. As you can see, just a few little kicks, and it's already starting to take a good little curve to it. So just got a little bit more to go. We'll keep working it. Keep working it, keep checking it, and slowly you'll catch it. You'll catch your curve. We still got a little bit more to go. I start bringing it back in here a little bit more. Actually, I think I went a little too far. That's okay though, because the other side of the car probably doesn't match exactly, but I also have a stretcher, so you just turn it around. If you go too far, I'm sorry, this is a shrinker. And you work it a little bit more and catch your curve back to where it's supposed to be. So that's pretty darn good. Consider my template's pretty wonky. Yeah, we'll get some holes punched in it. I'll lay it on the outside of the car and mark out where I need to start cutting the other side. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and get this side welded in and tacked and started on that. And I won't show this side. I just wanted to show the shrinking and stretching, how easy it is to make a little flange panel. So makes it a lot easier. This is something you definitely need. These are from Eastwood. I made the stand and the handle, the legs for it, so that I could use it and keep my hands free. If not, you have a lever, which is whatever this is left over, the handle you pull on it. If you put a little hand, if you free up your hands, obviously you can manipulate the metal a lot easier. So it makes it a little faster too. This one's going to go up here since I cut away the tub most of the way up, probably about 80% of the way up there. I'm going to use a flange here. I did the same thing. I just kind of curved it a little bit so start the transition here and match up good. And I'm going to plug weld that and plug weld that to the floor. And that way it'll give it a nice flange, just a little weld there. It'll give it better strength, I guess. And I got a strip cut for this. Let's see, that's right here. So we'll get that welded in place and trimmed up nicely. I'm going to get this first, and that way it'll give me my shape of this tub. And I'm going to start working my way back up, and then we'll blend this top section in so that it won't be as rough. I still need a little trim here, so I get this to shrink in a little bit and start to transition back into the tub. But I think it's going to look nice and give me the room that I'm looking for that wheel. So I think it'll look good. Let's get that welded in and I'll stop yapping. And I got the other side to do. Probably won't show that just because this took a little longer than I wanted it to. Just trying to think about it before I just go start the cut. But we'll get it welded in place. I'll show that, and then we'll wrap this up. Now we've got the I've got the flange in place. And I've got it clamped to the tub here to kind of conform to it, and then I'm going to clamp it to the floor and get it to conform to that. I want it to conform to the hump first, or the wheel tub first, and then I'll get it clamped down, and we'll fill this gap in here and clamp that down. But I went ahead and put some holes in it so I can run some plug welds, and got backside primed, and we're ready to weld it in. We'll see what we can do to get it burned in.
All right, the flange is welded in. Still a little warm. I'm gonna go ahead and slice this relief cut and kind of get that to fold in and start kind of matching these up. And I'll start working my way around maybe in here. And I've got my patch panel cut out there. I'll get this flattened out a little bit. It's got a little bit of a wave in it where I hit it in the wrong spot, but no big deal. We'll get that straightened out, and we'll keep rolling with it.